I was leaving my girlfriend's house, and I was heading 281 North, and it seemed like a regular day. I decided to drive slow because the roads were slick. Just remember my car just like a loud pop, and my car is spinning out of control. And I get out, and I took about like 3 steps out of my car, and I turned to look at my car, and that's when I got hit. I looked back at my legs because I couldn't move. My left leg was on the other side to my right leg, and I was like, that ain't good. It was just hanging on.
And what was your fear?
That I was gonna die, and I was die alone.
I could see Paul laying in the road. Get out of my car, grabbed the flashlight, and ran up to Paul and began checking his vitals. I remember you running up on the scene, followed shortly by another woman, and just pretty much getting to work.
From his knee to his foot, there was nothing but flesh and bone fragments on the ground. And his foot was laying off to the side, and all I could see was a lot of blood.
The woman next to you is actually wearing a scarf, so we had her take the scarf off.
I pushed the scarf underneath. She grabbed it from the other side. Together we tied it tight, tight, tight. And I said, pull. And she pulled in one direction, I pulled in the other. A man walked up and said, here's a spool of twine. And if we tied the scarf around the spool of twine and we could twist it, we could make the tourniquet even tighter. So we did that.
And there we sat in the freezing cold while motorists sped by us. There was nothing else we could do for Paul but wait for help.
What was more important than the blood and the scary things on the scene was making sure that he wasn't alone and that no matter what, we wouldn't leave his side.
We called Paul's parents to let them know what happened. And when paramedics got there, Mark and I are there on the right, they loaded him up and whisked him away to SAMC. Mark and I were put in separate squad cars and interviewed by police.
There's a bond that we shared that night, and it was through unspoken words.
Yet I had no idea who they were. When I got home, I went on Facebook and thanked them all, the complete strangers brave enough to stop with me. The post reached more than 30,000 people, and word quickly spread.
One of my friends or one of my coworkers told me that, hey, Delaine Matthew was the one at the accident with you. Did you know that?
I never heard from the woman on the scene, but Mark contacted me the next day, saying he was the guy who helped. And by the following Monday morning, the 3 of us were together again in the hospital. Paul's injuries were catastrophic.
I couldn't look at it. I just kept it covered.
He lost his left leg, suffered multiple fractures to his right leg and foot. His right elbow was crushed, and his nose nearly severed after landing face first into the windshield of this car. The driver was not charged.
It's hard to use the restroom, take showers. Like the simple things was like 10 times harder.
It gets him to move around in the wheelchair.
Paul was moved to a rehab facility where the fight to walk again began. He spent weeks there, gaining strength and mobility. He was able to go home just in time for his 23rd birthday on Valentine's Day. But there was much more work to be done.
From the time he was at San Antonio Military Medical Center, he could look out the window and see this round building. And I explained to him that was the Center for the Intrepid.
Mark spent time at the Center for the Intrepid after being severely injured during a mission in Afghanistan and pushed for Paul to be treated there through a Department of Defense program that allows civilians who qualify into the CFI. It worked.
20 minutes, man.
After weeks of grueling stints in rehab, Paul finally got his prosthetic leg. And just a few days ago, he walked for the very first time in 7 months.
Did you want to cry, or you're sweating right now?
Oh, I'm sweaty. Probably cry later.
I can say it to y'all million, billion thank yous. It won't be enough.
Seeing Paul walk again and knowing we played a part in saving his life is thanks enough for Mark and I. And while we wish the sequence of events would have been different that night on 281, we're just thankful we were there, not only for Paul, but for each other.